Good evening. My name is Joshua Bindid, a Master Social Work student from the College of Grand Canyon. Today I'll be discussing about the underprivileged group population, which is the Muslim Somali kids in the state of Minnesota. The state of Minnesota in Minneapolis, has one of the most highest population of Somali around the United States. One of the underprivileged group is the Somali kids who have autism, who have been diagnosed with autism. At the age of 4, according to diagnosis, there are 1 in 16 of kids, Somali kids from age 4. They are diagnosed, 1 in 16 Somali children are diagnosed with autism spectrum. At the age of 8 years old, a recent study in 2022, 1 out of 12 kids of Somalia are diagnosed. So we see that Somali kids have one of the highest population of autism. They have the highest population than any other race in the state of Minnesota. So to the recent ICE that is going on in the state of Minnesota, Somali kids right now, they are really going through many trials. They're going through a lot of struggle. Imagine being diagnosed with autism. You have already dealing with so much. And now with the ICE situation that is going on in the state of Minnesota, because of this, there are a lot of stigma with Somali companies in the state of Minnesota that have an ABA center to help their people, because in the state of Minnesota, they have the highest population of kids with autism. And because of this, most Somali are able to open ABA center to be able to help to improve their people, their kids, to improve them to get a better care. So because of this, most Somalians opened the ABA Center, like I previously said. And one of the challenges that is going on due to ICE, a lot of Somali companies are being shut down. And this is significantly impacting not only the business, but the underprivileged Somali population who are diagnosed with autism spectrum. Now, how are they going to receive those care if most of these companies are being shut down due to fraud? And not a lot of companies are part of this, with this fraud that is going on in the state of Minnesota. I'm a behavior therapist that work at a Somali company in the state of Minnesota. And because of this, a lot of Somali parents are taking their kids from the center. And a lot of centers are being shut down because of fraud. A lot of parents are being deported. A lot of companies' owners are being deported because of this. And this is impacting the life of the underprivileged Somali in the state of Minnesota. But according to Netting 2023, here are the four critical principles that can be used in this situation right now, because the Somali population and community is one of the biggest communities in the state of Minnesota, especially Minneapolis. And according to NETI 2023, we see the strength of the Somali people right now. They are galvanizing together. They are protesting together based on the ICE that is going on in the state of Minnesota. A lot of people, like I said again, this is impacting the children who are diagnosed with autism. I'm a first-hand person online because as a behavior therapist and as a social worker conducting internship, I got to see how many Somali parents took out their kids from out of the center from receiving therapy because what have been going on in the media. And my center that I work in is about 2 blocks of everything that's been happening in the state of Minnesota. So as a social worker, our goal there is to be able to empower, is to be able to help, is able to improve, is to be able to fight inequality. But here are some of the strengths that I've been seeing with my supervisor and also the owner of the company, Milestones. Here are some of the says some of the strength that have been used. You see, the Somali population, they are unity. They are also Muslim, right? So this is another stigma that have been, that they are terrorists and every other things. Now imagine with the fraud that have been going on, and as the add terrorists with terrorist stigma, negative connotation with stigma, and also with the fraud that have been going on with the ABS Center and everything that have been going on in the state of Minnesota. And this has have really impacted. I have seen companies go down. I have seen so many families taking out their kids from this center that receive services. And this is significantly impacting their mind, that impacting psychologically, impacting family, because Somali kids are the highest population with autism. So now not being able to receive services on a daily basis because what have been going on. So according to Nettie, there are four principles of SWOT to be able to help a macro organization. So here are some of the principles that can be used. What are the strengths of the Somali populations right now? Working with a Somali population, the Muslim population, they are very great people, right? So working the ABA Center, these kids that are diagnosed with autism, they are able to receive responsive care. They are able to receive responsive care. They are able to receive strong trust within the Somali company because they are their own people that is serving them, that are improving their life on a daily basis. So these are the strength, the strong trust within the community to be able to have a community that is able to target a significant problem that is going on in the community, because the Somali population has one of the highest diagnosis of autism in the state of Minnesota. And because of this, the Somali population have decided to bring improvement. How can they help their own people? By opening up an ABA center, providing direct therapy to help their people. So now we go to the threats. What are some of the threats that is going on? Like I previously said, the ICE that is going on, these have been a significant threat to the organizations that open ABS Center, right? So most of these centers are being shut down, and these kids are not able to receive services and care on a daily basis. Family has taken out their kids because fear of being deported. Fears are being being deported, fear of being arrested. So some of the threats are policy changes. There are so many policy changes. In January of 2026, when I returned back to work, I got to see there are so many changes within the ABA Center. The ABA Center that provides services to kids who are diagnosed with autism. So there are so many policy changes because of this that have been happening in Minnesota. So one of the statement also to policy changes and threats that have been going on of shutting down companies, and these policy changes from the state and the government, which has impacted, right? So that would be the weakness of these companies are being shut down, are not receiving fundings, right? So now because of this fraud and immigration process that is going on in the state of Minnesota, and these populations, Somali population, and the underprivileged kids that are diagnosed with autism, now there are limited funding to companies that are providing these services, limited funding to Somali companies, not only Somali companies, but they are being targeted the most, right? So now we get to see limited funding to these companies that are providing services. Now we begin to see prejudice of culture, right? So in the state of Minnesota, now we're seeing a lot of prejudice. So now a lot of Somali company, they are being investigated. And once your company is being investigated, and sometimes you can make the less of error in billing, right? Because as a behavior therapist working in this field, I have seen a lot of error, and these error have impacted the billing. So now, before staff become compensated, we see that sometimes it takes 30 days and 60 days. Just a little bit of error or mistake that was made during billing, right? Or a staff may write their notes and may not properly write it professionally, or may not properly write it better. It may impact the funding, because this happened also where I was working. It took like 30 days for the funding to come, right? It was just a little bit of error, the funding to come. And what does that do? Staff are not being compensated. When staff are not being compensated, what are they going to do? They're going to leave the company. And this is part of the weakness that is impacting this unprivileged population that are receiving services in the state of Minnesota. So we see limited funding, prejudice that is going on now. So everybody don't want to take their kids to a Somali company, and they'll say, oh, this is a fraud, or the undocumented. A lot of negative connotation is being put on this group. So because of this, we see limited funding. And because of this, we see many other people that are taking their kids from these services and from these population, from these organizations. They are taking their kids because of the media right now, because of the negative media connotation, and said they are not providing the right services. They are saying they got the money from fraud, and this has played a significant negative connotations on Somali companies that are providing ABA services to help improve these kids, especially the Somali kids, who have the highest population of diagnosis with autism. And because of this is one of the weaknesses that is going on. We see workforce shortage. I have seen many staff as a behavior therapist. I have seen many other staff who have also left companies. Why? Because of this ICE issue that have been going on. Because why? Most companies have been shut down. And we see how unemployment impact, because once your company is shut down, you have family to feed, you have responsibility. And because of this, in the state of Minnesota, I have observed and have witnessed many staff have left so many different companies because that company was shut down, that company was investigated, and now how are you going to feed your family? Not even about the staff, but how are these kids that are diagnosed with autism that receive services, how are they going to get the services? How the parents are impacted by this? How the community are impacted by this? And because of this issue that is going on as a behavior therapist, for me, I'm constantly contacting parents, talking to parents, and just listening to them about how are they dealing with this issue, and how are they impacting the kids at home who are not able to receive services. Because why? Most Somali parents, they are afraid. Why? Some of them, their kids stop, not even with the ABA center we see in the state of Minnesota, because of fear. We see because of ICE. Most kids are not even going to school no more. Their parents keep them at home because of this issue. So these are the issues that is going on as with these unprivileged population, the Somali population of Muslim, and also the Somali population of kids that are diagnosed with autism. And these kids are being impacted by this daily. So there was a time in my internship and also at work, I see these kids because of this issue. He didn't come to the service for almost about 2 weeks. And when he came back, there was a significant behavior issues because of that. And as a behavior therapist, it is hard on us and because kids with autism, they are they believe in structure, and they don't like changes. So now imagine these kids are dealing with different changes. One week they are in the facility, another week they are not, because of fear of their parents, the fear of what's going on around in the state of Minnesota. And because of this is impacting the kids. It's impacting family. It's impacting everyone in the state of Minnesota, especially these unprivileged kids, Somali unprivileged kids and Muslim kids, which they are already dealing with the negative connotation as being a Muslim, as terrorists. And then they add another negative connotation as a criminal with fraud. And this is impacting company, impacting the kids that are diagnosed. So these are the weakness, limited funding. Because of this, there have been limited funding, prejudice, of fraud. Nobody want to trust Somali to do business with them. Everybody's afraid. Now you have what? Workforce shortage. We see significant workforce shortage in this field, in the ABA field, applied behavior analysis field. And because of this, most employees are leaving Somali companies. That's just like the weakness. And the third, like I previously said, it was policy changes, because a lot of policy changes in this field. Because of why? Because of the Somali, because they have the highest population of kids with autism. And now of the recent fraud allegations that have been going on with ICE, it have impact businesses and organizations that are providing these services, and have impact children from receiving their services. What are the opportunities? The opportunity in this field, and also with kids, Somali kids and companies, they are able to receive resources of Medicaid reimbursement. 2, government grants, partnership with schools and healthcare center, right? So these are one of the most critical issues that is going on right now in the state of Minnesota. And as a social worker, we are told as the NSAW is to what? Fight for just the injustice that is going on. And this injustice is impacting kids, it's impacting the youth, it's impacting citizens in the state of Minnesota. And as a behavior therapist, on a daily basis, we are dealing with this. We are dealing with high impact kids with behavior issues. And because of this, families are taking the kids out of these services. And not every company is part of this fraud. And not every Somalian company is part of this. And because of these negative connotations, it have impact businesses from receiving fundings, from receiving resources. And many staff have left because of this. And many other companies don't want to do businesses with Somali company now that are providing ABA services with kids with autism. So these are some of the issues that is going on in the state of Minnesota. And as a social worker, and also as an internship doing master program, it has significantly impacted employees of what is going on. So what can we do? That is the question now. So what can we do as social worker following the slot from NET 2023? As a first-hand responser that is directly dealing with this issue, what do we do? The only thing that we can do is the what? Protest. What we can do is provide services the best possible way that we can. What are the strength of the family? What is the strength of the community? The strength of the community is unity with the Muslim Somali populations and these kids that are diagnosed with autism. What do we do? So in my company where I work at, what are we doing? We are constantly calling families right? We are constantly calling them, see how's everything going on with them. What do they need? How can we best help them? How are they dealing with these issues? Those are some of the first thing that we want to do as a behavior therapist and also as a social worker is to do our advocate. This is what our company is doing right now in the state of Minnesota. We are what advocating. We are advocating. We are advocating not just for what is going on with ICE, but these kids are being impacted. They are being impacted more than other race who are diagnosed with autism. And once these kids are not experiencing the same structure, because kids with autism, they like structure, they don't like changes. So once there's changes, it impacts them psychologically. And you see a significant behavior issues. So this is what we deal with as social worker in this field. So what are we seeing now that is going on in this field? We see policy changes, which are the threat. We see negative stigma surrounding autism center. Autism center are being closed. Workers are leaving. Lack of fundings. Limited funding. Workforce shortage. Prejudice of culture, of the Muslim culture. And this is significantly impacting these kids that are receiving these services. So as a social worker, and what my company is doing, like I said, we are constantly advocating. We are constantly contacting parents, providing services for them the best possible way that we can, encouraging them, ensuring them that everything will be okay. Because a lot of parents are afraid for bringing their kids to the center. They are very afraid. And this is impacting the state of Minnesota and also the underprivileged kids who are diagnosed with autism. So this is what's going on right now in the state of Minnesota. And by using the SWOT, the SWOT evidence-based principles, which is strength. What are the strength of the Somali company, the Somalis right now? What are the strength? The strength is that they are in unity, they are protesting, they are together, they are trying to provide the best services, and they are trying to change the negative connotation. And what are the threats right now? The threat of policy changes. There are so many policy changes when it comes to immigration and also within the field of ABA that provide services with kids with autism. And we see that Somali kids have the highest population of autism in the state of Minnesota. They have the highest population. So if these services are being shut down and these funding are being shut down, how are these kids going to receive these services on a daily basis because of this issue that is going on right now? So these are the things as a social worker we are dealing with. So what are the opportunities? The opportunity is that even though funding are being limited because of the fraud situation that is going on and also immigration process that is going on, but companies are still, there are still good companies. Companies are still being able to be reimbursed of the staff of the services they are providing. And some of these services taking 30 days, 60 days, just for company to be able to pay their staff. I can remember that some companies are also taking loan just to pay their staff because of so many different forms of investigation that have been going on. They are taking loan just to pay their staff because of this situation. Because how are you going to get paid? You're being investigated for 30 to 60 days and your staff are working. These kids need to receive these services. So these are some of the opportunity Medicaid reimbursement, but it's taking by 30 days or 60 days. And also, many companies are trying to get grants just to be able to pay their staff and to keep the company going, running. So these are some of the things that is going on in the state of Minnesota and the underprivileged population of the Somali kids with autism. They are the one that is paying the price. They are the one that is going through, not able to receive services because of this issue that is going on. But I pray that everyone around the world, especially in the state of Minnesota, that we all come together as an American to be able to help these kids, which are Somali, who are not receiving services because of company being shut down. And this is very hurtful as a behavior therapist, not able to see these kids sometimes for 2 to 3 weeks because of fear. Their parents are fearful and their kids are not receiving services. But as an American or as a human, there are a lot of protesting that is going on in the state of Minnesota. We are protesting on a daily basis because these are impacting these kids. So I want to say to you, wherever you are in a part of the world, your voice means something. Your voice means something. Silence is violence. Your voice means something. So I want to say to you, wherever you are in a part of the world, you can do something. You can do something by helping. You can do something by speaking out. Do not be silenced because these kids are going through a lot. These Somali kids who are diagnosed with autism, who have the highest form of diagnosis of autism, they are dealing with significant psychological issues, mental health issues at this moment. So I want to say to you, thank you for watching this video. This is for my assignment 6 at the College of Grand Canyon University. I believe that we will get through this. I believe that we will make it. I believe that all this will also come to an end. And these kids and their parents will know that we are all American, we are all one, that we will get through this and we will overcome by unity and by peace. These kids deserve better.